Hi everybody, it's Doreen and I'm back today with an anniversary card, and this time we are going to be using the Silhouette Cameo, and I'm going to be using a digital image. Now I'm not going to show you how I colored in my digital image and I cut the image with this Cameo. I'm going to show you that in a future video. So what does our card look like for today? This is the card that we will be making, and as you can see, it is an Easel card. So come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Okay everybody, so we'll bring up the supplies so we can get started making the card. So now, the cardstock that I'm using is just some of the Joann Fabrics texture cardstock that I bought a while back. And this is the front portion of your easel card. So when you cut this out, it will be in one big piece, and then what you're going to do is just fold back on the score line and like so. So now we're going to go ahead and add our pieces for the top layer that fits on top. And this is how you form your easel. So what I want to do first is go ahead and get my top layer all ready to go. So this paper here is from this paper pack that is called Forever in Time. It's a paper craft collection. It's the Frolic Amusement is what it's called. And it looks like this. I picked this up on the first haul that I did this year. So we're just going to use the Tombow to get some tape on here. And then we're going to add this piece to the center of our card. And these are musical notes. And I don't know anything about musical notes, so I don't know which way these go. So I'm just going to put it this way. I guess it really doesn't matter, because by the time we get our couple on, you probably won't be able to see but just a little bit of this background anyway. So now that we've got that on, I did notice that one of these did not poke all the way out. I want to say that I've made this card twice, and at the end of the video I'm going to have a picture of the first one that I did. And as I've said before, I make a lot of birthday cards and just a few anniversary cards. So you can take this card and make it whatever you want it to be. I just wanted to give you an idea of how you can take the same card and do something different with it for the front. And when I did this the first time and cut it out, everything came off the mat perfectly fine. With this cardstock, I guess I didn't have my pressure set high enough for it to go all the way through, so I had to spend some time poking out some of these little circles here, and that was not fun. So this is going to sit, and we want to make sure we get this lined up properly. So I probably should have done my paper, my top layer there a little different. You want to make sure you line up those circles. And I lined these up once before, and I should have marked it when I did it. So let's see here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my little couple onto the top portion of the card. Now this couple is actually a digital image that I colored in using my Silhouette Cameo, and I also went ahead and cut it out using the Cameo. I just learned how to do this by watching several videos, so I'm not prepared to do a tutorial on how to do this yet. I've got to master it myself. It took me quite a while to figure it out, so I'm not going to show you how to do this today, but once I get the technique down where I feel comfortable doing a tutorial, I will. So this is our couple that's going to sit on top of here, and I've gone ahead and popped it up with some foam tape. So now we have to decide, because what you're going to do is you're going to put some tape just along here, and then you're going to lay this down, because you want the bottom half of this to be the portion that is going to act as your easel. So I'm going to go ahead and add my couple on here, but before I do, I want to make sure I got this lined up. So I'm going to, you don't need to sit here and watch me try to match this up correctly. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come back and we'll add everything else on the front of the card. Okay everybody, so I'm back. I had everything lined up. I did end up having to pull this piece up, so because I wanted to make sure that it was facing the right way. So what I did was I went ahead and just added the tape along that top piece there, and then I took my two-way zig pen and just roughly added some of the glue in between the spokes. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. It still will stay like so. So now let's go ahead and get our couple on here, and I've popped this up with 2 thicknesses of foam tape because I really wanted this to stand out and look as if it's coming off the page or off the card. So I'm just going to add the couple right here in the center. And as I said, you probably wouldn't be able to see most of the background paper because I kind of made them rather large, and that was the size that I wanted to make it. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my inside sentiment in. Now I did use the print and cut feature to make my inside sentiment, and that's going to sit right here. So we'll just get some tape on the back of here, and we'll add this to the inside of the card. And then our card will actually pretty much be done. But of course I have to add my bling and just a few more embellishments that I want to put on the front of the card. So now that I've got my tape on there, I'm just going to line this up, and I'm going to lay this down. And I'm going to make sure I roughly get this within here. And there is our inside sentiment. So the next thing I'm going to add is you'll need something if you want your easel card to sit up. It can sit like so, but I want it to come down just a little bit further past the sentiment. So I'm going to add a little stoppage point right here so that it sits and stops right there. So I'm just going to add this, and I think what I'm going to do is, it's already set really to look like it's coming off the page, but I'm going to add just a couple little small foam squares along the back edge of here. I'm going to put one there, and then one on that side there, and then we'll put that. And I didn't mark or anything where I wanted this to go because I'm going to put it right under the last line of the sentiment. So I did cut this actually larger than I should have. So it's a little bit off there, but it still will sit so the card stops. And like I said, it will stand up on its own too. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my embellishments, and then I'll come back with the finished card. Okay everybody, so I'm back with the finished easel card, and what I ended up doing was I decided I wanted this to kind of stand up just a little bit taller than what I had it. So I ended up moving the happy 33rd anniversary, which is what is on my banner. I'm going to bring this up so you can see it. This is my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's 33rd wedding anniversary. So I moved that from where I had it here up a little bit further, so it ended up covering up a piece of the sentiment, but this piece of the sentiment just said congratulations on it. Looks like one of my bling popped off, so I'm going to add that back real quickly, but I'll do that off camera. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on with what I did for the front of the card. So I also went ahead and made this flower, and this is a Lori Whitlock 3D rose, and I just cut it out in white cardstock, except for my leaves. I cut that out in green cardstock, and you can just see the edge of the leaf. And I went ahead and took my H2O shimmering twinkling watercolor paints, and they look like this, and I apologize for the glare. And I colored the white cardstock using those, and then I went ahead and misted them with this iridescent memory mist that I have. I don't have any more of my Tattered Angel Glimmer Mist. As I mentioned in a previous video, I saw somewhere on someone's YouTube video that the way to keep them so they don't clog up is to add BBs inside the Glimmer Mist, which is what I did. And unfortunately what that did was it turned all of my Glimmer Mists totally different colors than what they originally were. Some of them I couldn't even get them to squirt out. Some of them the colors are darker and they look nothing like the color that they're supposed to be. So I actually ended up throwing them out. So I'm using the Yasutomo paints right now and the Twinkling H2O watercolor paints to do my misting, and then I just take, like I said, this Memory Mist iridescent and spray that after I colored it with the Yasutomo paints. I also have this sparkle and spray that I picked up online at Joann's, so I saw someone use this at the last rubber stamp show that I was at, so I'm going to try that as well. I won't be purchasing any more Glimmer Mist. As if you've watched my videos, you'll see that the Glimmer Mist was the very first video that I ever did, and I had tons of colors, so now I don't have any. So I'm going to move on and not talk about that anymore, because I'm really upset about the fact that I spent all that money and I can't use any of them. So the other thing that I did was I went ahead and added a butterfly here on the side, and I used some of the scrap paper that I had left over, and then I've added some bling here in the center of the butterfly, and then over here I've added some bling in the ribbon of the girl's hair. So that's it for my card. And then for my envelope, I just used my We Are Memory Keeper envelope punch board to make my envelope. If you're going to make an envelope, the card measures 5.5 by 5.5. So to make this so it would fit, because of my dimensionals and the fact that I popped up my couple here, my envelope, the size that I used was the 5.5 by 6 if you have the envelope punch board. So that means you'll cut your paper 9.25 by 9.25, and you'll score your first score line at 4 3/8. Now, something that I wanted to point out also, when you download this card from Bird's Cards website, you're going to find that it comes in at this size. And this roughly measures 3.5 by 3.5. I did not want my card that small, so I went ahead and enlarged it so I could get it to be a 5.5 by 5.5 inch card. So that's it, everybody. This is the anniversary card that I've made for my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law. Now, at the end of the video, you're going to see where I took the same card and I made it a birthday card. So as I said, even though I make mostly birthday cards and a few anniversary cards, you can take these ideas that I'm giving tutorials on and you can make it for what you need it for. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.